I can barely see this. Holy crap. I Street Fighter 2, just as bad as I remember it. Holy crap. Tiger Electronics making a comeback. These things, man, if you had one of these back in the 80s, 90s, you know what to expect with these things, right? They were a cheaper alternative to handhelds, but now Hasbro is bringing them back. Hasbro said, you know what? We need these Tiger Electronics back in our hands. Nostalgia is a bish. Like, let's put them out. So these are the first four that they have announced are being reissued. Yeah, reissued, because these already exist. These were made back in the 90s or whatever. And it just kind of, it strikes me as odd. Like, why? Why do we need these things? If you had one of these growing up, I mean, you know what it was about. Like, you had to have a strong ass imagination to really enjoy these things. I had a few of them when I was a kid, and maybe a couple of them I enjoyed for about 5 minutes, and then that was it, but they weren't really that great. There's nostalgia for them, for sure, but who the hell is going to play these things? They're going to reissue these, and only people in their 30s, 40s, maybe 50s, I don't know, 30 and above, let's just say 30 and above, are going to buy these things and not open them. Because if you open them, you're going to be like, what is this shit? Oh, yeah, I remember hating this crap and wishing I had a Game Boy or a Game Gear instead. Like, I had these things when I was a kid because I didn't have a handheld right away, like a legit handheld. There was stuff that came out before these and after these that would put these things to shame. So that's why I'm like, why is Hasbro doing this? And it's just for those people who are going to buy these things, put them on a freaking shelf and not even play them. I heard they're supposed to be revamped, but I'm not really sure because nobody's really seen anything yet. They're supposed to be unveiling these at, like, you know, some toy expo or whatever coming up pretty damn soon. Maybe they'll showcase something, but the pictures that they've shown so far of these, and even the pre-orders that are available, which I've only seen them on a GameStop as of now, $15 each. They are identical to the original release. So how can they revamp these things? What are they doing to make them better? I don't think they're doing anything because they still run off of 2 AA's. Yeah, these bitches took 2 AA's, which wasn't too bad, right? They still run off of 2 AA's. They look. I mean, they're identical. I mean, this isn't the same one as that, but the form factor, they're just the same thing. We'll have to wait and see. Revamped, I don't know, because these 4 that they've shown, Transformers, Sonic the Hedgehog, those all pre-existed. So these are like reissues. How can they advance these any further than what they already were? Doesn't make sense to me. Are they going to kind of change up the gameplay? Because if you recall, all it was these LCD screens that had images already like set into them, right? And just depending upon the action, depending upon what was going on in the game, is what image would show at that time. Like you see here, whatever Turtles game this was, I don't think I ever played this one. You would have like, okay, he's standing in the middle there. He's going to the left. He's jumping up. You got enemies coming at you from different angles. So just depending upon what was on screen or what the action was, those things would blink. And then some things like see right here, his fist is right here, like by his face. And then like there's one extended. So this part would turn off and this one would turn on, like he was punching you, that kind of thing. All the actions, it was just primitive even for its time. It was kind of hard to enjoy these things. You just really had to sit there and imagine these were real games. I'll be honest with you. I had a few of these. I remember I had this one, but then I also had the barcodes one of this, which I actually thought was pretty neat. It did take it a little further into the future, I guess. What was this one right here? I wish I still had this one, but there's a little barcode swiper thing up top where you swipe barcodes. It came with like some cards, but then you could take like barcodes off of like soup cans and shit and just run it through it and it would like change the stats. I remember it would like mess with the graphics sometimes too. But it was just a gimmick, right? I had a handful of these things. Some of them, they were just like garbage off the bat. Some of them were kind of entertaining for a few minutes, but you always sat there and played these things. I don't know any kid who sat there and was addicted to these things. Like, were you addicted to these things? Because I remember playing them, like Street Fighter 2, for instance, and being like, man, I really wish I was playing the actual freaking game, not this piece of crap that I don't even know what's going on. Punch, special move, like it was one button, then a low kick, high kick, or R kick, left kick, right kick. I don't know what the hell those buttons were, but none of this made sense half of the time. Jump down, left and right, like it all makes sense in your brain, but when you're actually playing the games on these things, none of it made sense. And there was tons of them. This website here, Handheld Museum, they have a Tiger section here that shows tons of Tiger games from way back in the day. They had a lot of them. Like, I remember these watches. I still have a Star Fox watch that I got not too long ago, which is pretty fun. I remember this Ninja Gaiden, whatever the hell you call it, watch. I remember seeing that. I remember having this one, the Ninja Gaiden 2. But some of these, I remember you would play them and it would seem like, well, nothing is really working in the game. Like, I remember there was a RoboCop one. Do they have RoboCop on here? That was the one that I was like, RoboCop. Oh, that was a watch. I'm pretty sure there was a handheld too. I remember having a RoboCop one. But I just remember playing some of these and they just felt so cheap as far as the way the game worked. Like, you could never finish these games. What the hell was the point? So that's why I'm like looking at, with Hasbro doing this now, it's just for those nostalgia nerds that just, they have to have every damn weird thing that came out when they were a kid, put that shit on a shelf. When you could find a lot of these, like there's a Little Mermaid one too. I remember the Little Mermaid one. Let me see. Tiger. So there's Sonic 3 one, Transformers, X-Men one. There's a Little Mermaid one as well. Project X. These all existed before. Yeah, there you go. Little Mermaid. All of these they're just reissues, but like, who is gonna play these? The little kids, like, if you buy one of these for a 9-10-year-old, I mean, what the hell's wrong with you? But what my point was, you could find a lot of these ones, because these are not rare. Most of these, the ones that they're showing here from what I've seen, are not extremely rare. There's some that are crazy rare. You can find these for a few bucks, $10, whatever, for used ones. So if you were really into these, you could find original releases. But hey, to get a brand new one, I guess is kind of cool. But you're not going to buy this for somebody to actually play. No, like, it's like a lot of these gimmicky little handhelds and stuff that are out there now. My Arcade, all those companies that put out the little, single game arcade machines, the little, I've looked at a lot of them. Some of them are neat, but it's just a gimmick. Some of them are, decent quality. Some of them are just ass. And this is going back to a time of ass where it doesn't need to revisit. We've gone beyond this. Even at the time when these were out there, we went beyond this. There was just so much better stuff available. And it's like, were these for, like, if you were poor? I don't know. I mean, I guess I was kind of poor when I was a kid. I didn't have a job. I was a fucking kid. I couldn't afford video games, but I also didn't have a lot of video games. So occasionally I would get these things. And back then they weren't cheap necessarily. I was like thinking, like, man, maybe these things were like $7 or $8, but no, they were like $20 back in the day. You would find them on sale and whatnot for that $10 price point back then. But a lot of times these things were released and they were around $20 each. I remember getting them at Kmart and stuff like that occasionally for like birthdays and holidays and shit. And it was like, it was cool, but then it just, like, that feeling of excitement just blew over the second you started playing it. And it was like you fell for it every time. There's a new one. It's got to be better than the old ones. And then you would get it and it's just the same crap. Like, it was just ridiculous. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I think this is just something to just nip at the nostalgia of people who just, they have to own everything just to stare at it. You can't take it with you. Don't forget that. You're going to buy all these Tiger Electronics up. If you're not going to play them and enjoy them, and you're just going to stare at them, are you going to pass them down to the next generation, to your kids, to your kids' kids, so they could see what kind of shit we had to deal with as kids? I don't know. I think it's kind of pointless. I'm not into collecting like that. Some people are. More power to you. No hate your way. I don't get it. I don't get it, especially with something like this. But hey, let me know what you think. With that said, I will catch y'all next time. Peace out, bye-bye, and boom.